All right, let's get right into it. We've all been there, right? You get a new phone, and it slows to a crawl. A gadget just dies for no reason. Or that t-shirt you loved fades after just a few washes. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the hidden reason why the things we buy just don't seem to last anymore.
I mean, think about it. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? You look at that solid wood table from your grandparents' house, something that's seen decades of family dinners, and then you look at your smartphone, not even 2 years old, and it's already pushing you to upgrade. So what is going on here?
And this right here says it all. On one side, you've got this beautiful watch, a piece of craftsmanship built to tick for a literal lifetime, maybe even something you could pass down. And on the other, a smartwatch that's basically disposable, with a lifespan you can count on one hand. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. What if I told you this wasn't just a string of bad luck? What if the short life of your favorite gadgets is actually part of a deliberate plan that's been in the works for 100 years? So let's rewind the clock. It's time to uncover a secret strategy that completely changed how pretty much everything we buy is made. Believe it or not, this whole thing started with the humble light bulb. A century ago, a secret group of top light bulb manufacturers, they called themselves the Phoebus cartel, had a problem. Their light bulbs were lasting too long. And that was bad for business because nobody needed to buy new ones. So they all secretly agreed to engineer their bulbs to fail after about 1,750 hours. And if any company made one that lasted longer, they'd get fined. This idea, well, it became the foundation of the world we live in today. And that strategy has a name: planned obsolescence. It's exactly what it sounds like. From the very first blueprint, the death of a product is already scheduled. It's literally designed not just to work, but to break.
And you see this everywhere. You know that phone battery you can't replace? That's planned obsolescence. That software update that mysteriously makes your older phone feel sluggish right before the new one drops? Yep, that's it too. Even furniture. Instead of solid wood, a lot of it is now made from particle board, which is basically just glued sawdust, designed to wear out so you have to buy it all over again.
But what happens when the product doesn't actually break? Well, there's another playbook for that, a much more subtle psychological one. Let's dig into how companies make us want to replace things that are working perfectly fine.
This quote just nails it. If you can't make the product break, you have to find another way. The goal shifts from engineering failure to engineering desire. You have to make people crave something new.
And this brings us to its sneaky cousin, perceived obsolescence. This is all a psychological game. The goal isn't to make your old phone break, it's to make you feel like it's broken, or outdated, or just not cool anymore compared to the shiny new model. Fast fashion is the absolute master of this. You know, we used to have 2 fashion seasons a year: spring/summer, fall/winter. Simple. Now, fast fashion companies have literally created 52 micro-seasons. That means a new trend, a new desire, is pushed on us every single week, making what you bought last week feel ancient. And Apple, they were geniuses at this. Remember when those white wired earbuds were the coolest thing ever? Their ads were all about the iconic wire. Then, years later, they released AirPods. And through brilliant storytelling, the script flipped. Suddenly, those same wires they made famous became a symbol of old, clumsy technology. Your old earbuds worked perfectly fine, but they just weren't desirable anymore. So we're stuck in this endless cycle, constantly replacing things, either because they break or because we're told they're out of style. But what's the real cost of all this? Let's take a look at the hidden price tag. First off, the environmental cost is just staggering. All of our old phones, laptops, and gadgets end up in these massive e-waste mountains where toxic stuff like lead and mercury leaches into the soil. And our clothes, the chemical dyes used to make them pour into our rivers, polluting the water and even making their way into our food chain. And get this, to make just one single cotton t-shirt, it takes around 2,000 liters of water. Just let that sink in for a second. That's about how much water you might drink in 3 years. For one piece of clothing that might get thrown out after just a few wears. It's mind-blowing. So yeah, the environmental impact is devastating. But the planet isn't the only one paying the price. This whole cycle hits us right where we live, in our own wallets, often in sneaky ways we don't even see. Let's just do some quick math with this shoe example. You buy a pair of shoes for, say, 8,000 rupees, and you figure they'll last you 2 years. Okay, so that's a cost of 4,000 a year. But then a new model comes out, the marketing kicks in, and you just have to have it. So you upgrade after just 1 year.
You've just doubled your cost per year for that item to $8,000. And that old pair, still perfectly good, but now they're just sitting in the back of your closet.
Okay, this all sounds pretty bleak, I know, but it's not hopeless. The really good news is we actually have the power to change this whole thing. So, how do we break the cycle?
First, we've got to recognize that while companies build the system, it's our own impulses that keep the engine running. That little voice in our head that says, "Ooh, I want the new one," that's a powerful force.
So here's a super simple 3-step plan to fight back. Number 1, just recognize the impulse. The next time you want something, ask yourself, do I really need this, or did an ad just create a desire for it? Number 2, wait one more day, just 24 hours. Give yourself a little cooling off period. It's amazing how often that intense desire just disappears. And finally, number 3, shift your mindset. Choose quality over quantity. And when something breaks, see if you can repair it instead of just tossing it.
And this right here is why it's so important. This is where our power really lies. Because if enough of us stop making those impulse buys, if we demand things that last, manufacturers will have no choice but to listen. They'll have to improve the quality because that's what we're asking for.
So the next time you're about to click Buy Now on that upgrade you don't really need, just pause for a second. Because by choosing to wait, to repair, or to buy something that's actually built to last, you're not just making a purchase. You're casting a vote for the kind of world you want to live in. And that's a really powerful choice to make.